Hello everybody, welcome back to this third episode of the Euria Industries theme park series. Alright, so in this first half of the episode I'm working on the station of the roller coaster that we have. I also gave it a name, and I also worked a little bit around like the whole exit side, made a couple things over here. Then we're gonna jump into real-time mode, and I'm gonna show you guys like a POV of the kind of finished product, because you could say it's a finished product, but yeah. So right now you guys are seeing me fight with the pathing tool. I saw a video, I don't remember by who it was, but like it was a really useful video because you were able to well, I saw several techniques that could be like really nice to make invisible walls, or like certain places where people cannot be able to go through, so that you can make them, not go through those places, because sometimes I place some scenery and then people just decide it's a great option to go through that specific piece of scenery. So that's what I'm gonna try. What I'm trying to do right now. I'm just trying to fix that. And then after that, I'm gonna start doing the whole station area, which I'm pretty proud of. I really love how it looked and how it well, overall how it looks. I'm also pretty proud about the whole station and transfer track area. I made the transfer track finally. I was thinking of making it like in the underground section, but then I was kind of too scared about it because the underground section is just a big headache. So I didn't work on the underground section finally, but I was thinking about it and I was contemplating it for a sec, but then decided that it was not worth it. So I just made it just before the final, well, in the final break run. I made it over there. Just a simple transfer track. It's also hidden, and it's like under a building, so I didn't work too much on it because, well, like making it this super realistic transfer track didn't make any sense to me, because it was going to be hitting instead of a building that was going to be kind of dark. So I just decided it was just better not to do that, and it turned out pretty great. So yeah, basically a theme that I was trying to go for this whole thing, because since this is like in the agriculture kind of themed side of the park, I was just going for a rural town from like rural parts of Spain, and they're like, it looks pretty good. In my opinion, it's a really characteristic kind of architecture what they have over there. They got quite a bit of like stone buildings. There's a lot of stone buildings from medieval ages, or I don't know which ages, but yeah, and then mixed with like some buildings that are kind of like more use a little bit more wood, or a little bit more resources like that, that are something that are really common to see. Wood is like trees, it's a really foresty area, so it's really easy to find trees on that area. Right now I'm working in the control booth for the station. I wanted to make a control booth. I don't know why, but I just felt like it was a nice move to do on this. So yeah, I just finished doing that control station and then going back into the building. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it has like a really unique architecture that I was trying to replicate over here, and I think it worked out really great. Of course, with the main limitations that the Planet Coaster has, because in its state right now we don't have as many like theming pieces as we would have in Planet Coaster 1, so you don't have that much of a freedom to build over here literally whatever you want, because you can't, because there's not that many pieces. But it's okay, we got enough, and they'll be adding up a lot more, I'm sure. So I'm not too bothered. I worked with what I had, and the result is pretty good. I gotta say, it's pretty good. So yeah, pretty happy on that side. All right, and other news also. Well, I updated my graphics card and all my like hardware, so now I'm able to use Planet Coaster in its full potential, and I'm pretty happy about it. You're gonna see at the end, and when we jump into real-time mode, because I'm gonna show you guys how the whole ride looks now that it's kind of like, I would say it's finished. Maybe the underground part it's kind of bare bones, but with the ray tracing right now you're not able to see most of it because it's kind of dark, so that's really good as well. So yeah, when we jump into real-time mode, you're gonna see how like good and how gorgeous this game looks now. And that's what I wanted to test on this coaster mainly. It was like the dark, like the switch from light to dark without me having to touch into a sequencer that switches from light to dark. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically what I was going for this coaster, and it turned out great. So yeah, not much else to say on that regard. You're seeing me now working on the transfer track. This transfer track is kind of like a continuous transfer track. I didn't see any sense into making a transfer track that had one track for every train that you had to pull off. Whenever you have a roller coaster with a lot of trains, at least the trains that I've seen, or the coasters that I've seen, don't do a whole one transfer track per train kind of thing, unless it's just like, you know, 3 trains, but we got 6. We're working with 6 on this coaster, so I didn't see it really viable having 6 different transfer tracks. It would have been a nightmare of a transferring, and it would have taken just so long from like the transfer track moving, you know. So yeah, it was the best thing to do. If they need to pull some trains, they will pull them all into the same transfer track and they will work with them on that transfer track. But yeah, so you're seeing me now do a kind of like a strange thing over here. I'm trying to build the roof for this in a spire kind of way, because we don't have a spire piece, like spire roof piece. So I was trying to do it with this like small piece that they come with every single like roof piece. It's kind of like a border of a detailing thing, a corner of a detail thing, and I was trying to use it, but like it's a grid object. So what I was trying to do is just use that whenever it let me, and then fill it out with another piece, and I think it turned out pretty great. So yeah, I'm trying to make, like here, this is kind of like the well, the church of the town that we're building right now. So yeah, I'm just building that, and then we're gonna continue building. There are like a couple buildings. There are gonna be like a couple buildings in a row. Oh, you're seeing me here do the bell, which was like I'm pretty proud of that, honestly, because I like stretched my imagination to an extent over there. It was a piece that I saw that it was part of the mythology piece or something, and then I saw that if you rotated it, it became a perfect like bell shaped thing, and it didn't need to be like the most detailed thing because it was going to be like kind of hidden in a place over there in a random building. So I just needed it to like do enough for it to be like believable, you know. And it worked, so pretty proud of that as well. And now I'm building the last section of the buildings that are going to be covering the whole transfer track. So this is going to be kind of like a building with the exact same style like the station, because I felt like when I added the church building and all that, the station building got a little bit covered and it looked really nice, so I wanted to give it another option to shine, or another chance to shine, another place in the exact same like set of buildings, you know. But then midway through this, I realized that we got a windmill behind, and I didn't want to get rid of the windmill because I'm pretty proud of that building as well. So I wanted to keep the windmill, and what I decided was that I was going to create like a little more smaller buildings in the middle so that like the windmill could be seeable visible, sorry, from another side of the, from another perspective, from a certain perspective, you would be able to see it. So yeah, in the end, it all turned out great. And yeah, I realized at this point that last episode I said that I made a mistake over here because it was supposed to be Euria Industries, not Euria Gardens, because these are not going to be gardens. These are going to be like full-on industry-themed areas. So I needed to change the main logo in the entrance, and that's what I did because it was wrong. It was pretty wrong to put the other one because I don't know why. Like I feel like gardens is like a word that a lot of people use whenever they try to create like a coaster, like a Planet Coaster theme park or something. So yeah, I guess I just went into autopilot or something and then never looked back. But yeah, I also used a door on the coaster. There you go. And right now you're gonna see me try to cover every single source of light that comes into the station and into this areas, because I wanted to have like a dark-ish station. So I'm just adding roofs, whatever I feel like I need to add some roofs, and not much else, just finishing up the whole transfer track and the whole storage area. But yeah, so let's talk plans for this area. I feel like this is going to be the main roller coaster of the zone, so I am not planning on adding any more roller coasters on this agricultural kind of area. I am planning to do some more areas in the future, of course, but I'm not sure what kind of area should I make and what kind of coasters should I add. My main idea was that I didn't want to use, or I didn't want to do like two coasters of the same manufacturer, you know. So I didn't want to add another B&M coaster over here. I might break that promise because B&M is one of my favorite coaster manufacturers to work with in Planet Coaster. I just love all of the models, and I love building B&M's models, especially, I gotta say, invert and floorless, especially floorless coasters. Even though they might not be my favorite in real life, I love floorless coasters in Planet Coaster and building them. I also gotta say I love them in real life. I think they're really underrated, like roller coaster type, but it's obviously not my favorite coaster type. Like there's a lot more coaster types that I prefer, like the Intamin Multi-Launch or Blitz, the RMC conversions, or like B&M Hypers. All those are much better than a simple B&M Floorless, but I just love building them. I think they're really pretty and really, like, they give a really nice aesthetic. I don't know why, I just find them really pretty. So yeah, that's that. Not much explanation to that. I just love them. But yeah. So my challenge right now will be trying to branch out and use different manufacturers and different types of coasters that were not available in Planet Coaster 1. So for example, the roller coaster, I think it is called like the multi-dimensional or something roller coaster from Intamin. That one I want to build, and I want to build like a dark ride-ish kind of roller coaster with that, but we'll see about that because, well, dark rides are something that scare me, to say the least. You know, they're really, really, really complicated. You gotta theme really small areas, and you gotta theme them well because they gotta tell a story, you know. And I feel like on this coaster particularly, my interior was not that good. My interior building skills on this coaster in the transfer track area was not that good. I was trying to theme, but then I realized that I had the transfer track in the middle, and I couldn't leave like that, and I couldn't like cover the transfer track with things because, well, at the end of the day, it's a transfer track. Like, you need to be able to access that and have a lot of space over there because, well, maintenance needs to look at trains and over there and all that at the end of the night over there. So yeah, I couldn't touch much over there. And then the parts that I had free, I realized that at the end of the day, like we don't have that many things to theme interiors with, or at least I haven't found them easily. It might be that I need to branch out a little bit more, and then I need to, try to work on my interiors. It might be that case, but I didn't find that many things outside of like my own theme, So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to work on that and work on some like dark rides, but I'm pretty scared right now. At the time being, I'm pretty scared of that. So you're not gonna see me build with them still, at least. But the time will come. The time will come. I feel like this game's forcing me to branch out and to go into more original kind of looking coasters, such as this one that I just built, which is like one of my most themed coasters ever, because normally I just build coaster like the Cedar Fair / Six Flags style, like kind of give it a slight theme on the station, and then just not theme it at all in the rest of the layout and just call it a day. Except for my last series in Planet Coaster 1, which I gotta say I branched out quite a bit. So I've been branching out fairly, with a fairly a lot. I don't know how you say that. Like I've been branching out more lately, So at least that's that. But yeah, I'm just giving some finishing touches to the transfer track area, which again, well, I'm placing some stuff that don't make a lot of sense. I'm placing fire things inside of a wood structure, which doesn't make a lot of sense. In my lore, that is fake fire. Okay, that is fake fire. Most of the rides use fake fire. Not a lot of them. Right now, on the top of my head, I remember Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Studios Orlando doesn't use fake fire and uses actual fire, but like it's in a really big not plot of land, in a really big space, warehouse, if you will. So yeah, I don't have that space over here, so yeah, fire might not be the best idea for me. But yeah, so also, now that I see this section where I'm working in the path work and stuff, I didn't realize that if you edit, because at the beginning I was kind of confused about the whole path drawing tool, because I thought that you were only allowed to make paths in one height. It turns out it's not true, in that you can do several heights of this, but you gotta first build them in one height and then edit them and merge points with the points you want to merge, and they will adjust, and you will be able to create a sloped area, or a sloped plaza, if you will, which is what I did just here. It's just I'm working in that right now, and I will be working in that up until the end of this time lapse. So yeah, turned out pretty great. Pretty proud of what I was able to achieve with that, because, well, this opens a lot of new doors for me. I didn't know this was possible. Okay, maybe you knew, and maybe there's Planet Coaster 2 pros over here, but I was completely unaware of this. So I'm pretty happy to discover this and to be able to, investigate the game in another way. But yeah, so that's another piece of information that I gave you over there. And right now I'm just building the ride photo area, which it's actually not a ride photo per se. It's just two stands of merchandise, but I camouflage them slightly. I don't work too much on this because I wasn't able to find the perfect prop to try to imitate ride photo area, so it's okay, but it just passes as a ride photo area. I got rid of all of the just a momento kind of theming and called it a day. I just put a thing over there and then all black over there, and then just put a black counter and made it look like a ride area. and that's it. Not much else. It was nothing like too deep or nothing too crazy. I just wanted to add like that detail, that small detail, without working too much on it, because I'm gonna have to build a lot of buildings on this part of the area, because these rural zones are really known for that. But yeah, let's go right now real quick into the real-time kind of mode, and I'll show you what I've been working on up until now. Alright, so here we are in real-time mode in Planet Coaster. This is the result of the whole roller coaster over here. As you guys can see, I don't know if I told you guys, but I changed the colors of the like main track or whatever. I felt like this fit better in the look. But yeah, so this is the station. This is the way the people are supposed to get in. I will continue to work on this. I don't know if now or in future episodes or whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna do right now, right after I film this. But yeah, so you're supposed to go, oh wait, we're able to use the first person camera mode. So yeah, people just go this way. You see over there really nice views and stuff, and then there's a balcony over here. I was planning on having this side be like a see-through part, so like for it not to have like a roof or anything, and have the track be open air. But then I realized maybe not. I don't know why not, but like maybe not. It didn't feel quite nice. And then you're able to see this amazing view over here, which is I don't know, it just looks amazing. Then you go down, you get in a little bit over here, and then you see the coasters come in as the final piece. You know, like I always like to have some sections where the track has a little bit of interaction with the paths or the queues. Precisely, I like having the queues be next or near the track, because people are able to see people have reactions, like the people in the ride have reactions and stuff, you know. Then you get out to this small piece of outside part, and then you get into the main ride area. So you go this way, and then you ride. So this is a train. It's got two lights over here, and it's like a little bit lighted so that people, like if there was a ride operator over here checking seats, they would be able to check the seats. There's the control room. Not much just to see over there, and not much to see overall over here because it's pretty dark. But it's a vibe that I was going for, so I'm pretty happy. I would have liked to have it a little bit more themed, more than like the 4 stuff that you guys can see over here, but it was not my day and I was not feeling it that much, so it's okay. We're gonna ride it, so let's ride the ride, and yeah, let's just wait over here. As you guys know, well, I don't know if you guys remember, but this train dispatches every 24 seconds or something. It's a really high capacity ride, so yeah. The well, we got a friend over here, and then we got some like light theming on the trains that I'll show you in a second, but let's just ride the ride first and see the vibe, the overall vibe of the whole ride now that the ride is finished, you know. So yeah, this is the first like lift hill. Pretty proud of how this turned out and how the overall like place looks. Like the views are stunning on this ride, and it's what I was going for, so pretty happy about that, because the ride is not exciting per se, you know. So yeah, we go into the sunflower field over there and just continue going around. A little bit of an overbanked turn over here and straight into the first block break. There you go. And then just going down into this like kind of like a woodland area, which I am also planning to have like a little bit of a lake over there, and then have the town go over there. It will be done in the next like segment probably, or in the future. I absolutely forgot to create the picture zone, which I need to do. And I will at some point, I don't know when, but I will. This is the underground part. Pretty cool, pretty nice. Kind of like a, you know, underground storage zone, if you will. And then this is the second lift hill, in which I didn't add any roofing. Is there any reason? Yeah, I didn't feel like it. That's basically the reason why. So yeah, I just didn't add any roofing to that. And then this second part, which is the most intense of the whole coaster, but you guys can see that it has no intensity whatsoever. So pretty cool, pretty chill for every single person in every single age group. I also made sure that this coaster was able to fit every type of people over here. It's for all ages, so that's also pretty cool. There we go into the one of the last blocks that goes wrap around the windmill, and then just into the last block break over here. There you go. A little bit of a harsh turn over there, but it's okay. And then we are just coming back into the brake run over here. And there you guys can see the whole dark place, if you will. So yeah, it's a nice ride. It's nothing too special. There's some like roof and stuff clipping over here, which not ideal, but it's okay. I'll just pretend that I didn't see it, and that's it, because from the outside it would look worse if I did that. So yeah, let's just get out of the camera. Are we able to? Oh yeah, no, we just got off, and then you just get off and this way, and there you go. And there, here you are. You're supposed to come into this right photos. This one's open, this one's not. We're gonna open in a second once like I work into the pathway over here. And then these are little stalls, pretty cute stalls of like a market kind of feeling in the whole town, which is something that a lot of towns like these have. So yeah, I think it looks really cute, and it's also functional, so that's really good for me as well. And yeah, that's all it has. So this is Barren's supply drop. Also, I need to make this queue a little bit longer, because now people are willing to go into queue lines, into long queue lines, because the hotfix was released. So I'm gonna have to work on that as soon as I can, and then work on this whole plaza area kind of. And so my idea basically is to make this into up until here, and so make like a little bit of a pier over here, just to be able to see the whole track area. Also, from an engineering standpoint, this is not realistic. I don't know if you guys saw my last series, but this is not realistic basically because like these metal pieces are going into the water, and when they go into the water they get oxidized. So usually they just make the concrete up until here, because metal doesn't get along well with water, especially if it's exposed to water for extended periods of time like this one is, because it's constantly underwater. So it wouldn't be the footer would go a little bit higher, but the footers that we got are not the best ones. So I'm trying to wait for the December update to see if we can have some pieces to make custom footers and custom support. But yeah, so my intention is to finish the town area over here, and that's going to be our rural area. So it's going to span from here to all over the way to here. We're going to have some buildings over here, some entrance buildings as well. So we're going to have it be up until here, and then all this, and then all that. We're going to be able to fit like a couple rides over here, like a 2 or 3 tops, not a lot of them. I also want to add a train station, maybe. I'm not too sure, maybe not, because it's a rural area, so like kind of like the whole theme is it being like a small town that doesn't have a train station even. So maybe we're not adding any train station over there, but yeah, I'll see. But look at the views. These are really amazing views. I love the lighting on this game. But yeah, oh, I don't know if I showed you the trains. Hold on a second. Is there any train over here? Yeah, let me show you this one. There we go. So it's a pretty basic train, but it does a trick. I feel like this Euro car saved me because now it, like with these boxes and stuff, it really looks like it's a supply dropper kind of car or something. So yeah, that's the whole coaster. Let's jump into speed build now again and work a little bit more on this area and on the right of this area, and yeah, finish the episode probably. So yeah, let's go. So back to the speed build. We're building now the whole pier zone that I told you guys that I was planning to create over here. It turned out really great, I gotta say, and it's not because I made it or anything, it's not to brag or anything, but yeah, really good, really great area. Pretty proud of it, and also it's pretty easy to build areas like these because now it's pretty easy to work with the pathing tool. It's got its quirks. It's not the most, you know, easy pathing tool that you have. Like, it's not like a brush and then you just paint paths and that's it, but it's much easier to work with than the old pathing method of Planet Coaster 1. So I'm really thankful for that, because if not, this whole area, this whole place wouldn't have been possible if that was not there. So yeah, right now we're creating just some water fountains for this area because, well, like lakes in theme parks usually have like a fountain or something to decorate, so I thought it would be cool to have that as well over here. And yeah, just working around with the pathing tool. As you guys can see, it's kind of a little bit more it's a thing to work with. It's a challenge, and trying to make this part of the park, you know, work, especially because it has different heights. It's kind of difficult to work with, a little bit more difficult to work with rather than with a simple, like, you know, flat part. But I also wanted to try this, and I also want to challenge myself and the Planet Coaster 2 engine to see what it can do, and it can do pretty much a lot, quite a lot. Like, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's like fairly realistic, the way that it worked out and all that. So yeah, pretty happy with the result. So yeah, I'm just finishing up these areas over here. You're gonna see me build a couple paths today and a couple buildings. Now this, of course, well, talking about the architecture that I based it on, this is of course based on rural areas from northern parts of Spain. Well, not northern per se, but like northern to like mid-north parts of Spain. They got a really nice architecture that I remember of. Like, old towns in Spain were built on stone because it's a resource that they had quite a lot of. And so they didn't care about like it being pretty. They just used the exact same architecture style with all of them. But they basically didn't have any architecture. It was not made for it to be pretty, but was made to be functional, and they were in fact functional in the kind of buildings that they got. So I wanted to replicate that over here. So you're gonna see me a lot of copying around the same building and then trying to like changing a couple stuff and then placing it around, because also these kind of parks, or not parks, sorry, this kind of towns, rural towns, where really they didn't have any like urban planning. So houses were made wherever they needed to be made, and then a lot of streets were generated with a really weird pathing and stuff. This is not going to be the case over here because I didn't want to make like really narrow streets, because it would not be the most appropriate thing to have in a, you know, in a theme park. And I wanted to keep like some realism up until some point, but I also wanted to keep it realistic from the from a theme park perspective. And you cannot have narrow streets. First of all, because, well, as well as well, theme parks in all places that have and manage huge amount of crowds, they need to have fire escape or emergency escape routes, and having them be so narrow could potentially be really bad for the actual, theme park, because people would get congested in some areas and there would be bottlenecks and they would not be able to evacuate the whole area that they need to evacuate in the time they need to evacuate. Yeah, some safety and inspection kind of thing over there. But yeah, so I've been trying to work on that. You're gonna see me that I made the actual entrance, the pathing to the entrance to this rural area of the park right now over here, and it's gonna be a pretty narrow entrance, but I am planning to add some more entrances along the way. So this is not going to be the only entrance that we're gonna find on this to access this zone over here. So yeah, but anyways, I think the overall result turned out pretty good, and you can get the idea of how the an actual town like this would look like in real life, which is what I was going for. I was not going for like absolute realism. I was going for getting the vibes of it, So yeah, pretty happy to see that what my vision came to life, which is something that I'm afraid of every time I load into Planet Coaster, because sometimes my mind works much faster than my mouse does, and sometimes I get some really nice ideas, but I'm not able to portray them in the best way into the game. So yeah, it was not the case over here, and I'm really happy that happened. So yeah, it's just basically that. I would say that this part of the park is now ready to open to the public. I have tried off camera to open it to the public. Yeah, a lot of people go into the park. I also wanted to test it especially to see if my lines that I built, the queue lines that I built, were decently sized for the amount of people that wanted to ride them. You're gonna see that I'm gonna build some other flat rides over here. So in the total, by the time the episode ends, we're gonna have 3 total rides on this area. We're gonna have the roller coaster that we have over there, which is Barren's supply drop. Then we're gonna have I don't know the name, but it's like the in Planet Coaster 1 it was called the Whirly Rig, like the Tiny Eye ride. It's gonna be placed somewhere in the middle of town. It's gonna be called, I think it's called the Windmill, and then we're gonna have a bumper cars at the other side of the area, and it's gonna be called, I don't remember the name because it was like a long name, but yeah, it's gonna be over there. So yeah, all of them with the respective theming of this rural area. I took some creative liberties when building this, okay, because there's some stuff that you obviously wouldn't see in these kind of places, but I was like, okay, for the sake of having a diverse or a fun area and not having like, and I needed to tie in some stuff over there, so for the sake of like having a fun, diverse area, I just took some liberty, so it's not gonna be 100% exact, but yeah, it's quite there, quite close to being pretty realistic in terms of agriculture and all that kind of stuff. I also didn't place so much attention into the window and the detailing of every single building, because in real life they're not really detailed buildings. The detail is the texture that the wall gives, and I think that's the main thing that we need to take into account over here. It's the wall texture is just what it has, and then again, these houses were being made for utility purposes, not for pretty things and stuff, but I branched out a little bit. As you guys can see over here, I'm just building like a gift shop, and I wanted to build a gift shop, and I've seen some gift shops over there that have like a lot of stuff and things, and I wanted this to feel like it's like a gift shop stand, rather than just a box over there and then having nothing else. So yeah, I tried to add some merchandise and all that kind of stuff. and I realized that if I placed, so I wanted to give like a stand of like shields and stuff, and I realized that if I placed a rock and then activated the align to surface thing for the shields, then I could have a really easy way to have a pile of shields and of merchandise over there. You're seeing me like have some merchandise that fits in with the actual theme. Some things don't fit that well, like those vases and the axes and stuff that I put over there don't fit that well, but we're not going again for a realism kind of gift shop. Also, we don't have that many items to have a clutter, like to clutter a gift shop and all that, you know. So it's okay for the time being, and it's okay for what the idea I want to portray. Again, all this series is going to be based on giving the idea, giving the illusion, and I think the illusion is well portrayed with that. So I'm quite happy about that. Also, I tried this park with guests, and there's some clipping, random clipping somewhere. It was something that I saw coming. It was not something that I was like really worried about, because if I was going to be worried about that, I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night, mostly because it's a really easy thing for guests to clip somewhere, because they take which is logical, they take the shortest route possible wherever they go, and that makes sense because in real life we also do take the shortest route possible. So whenever you see like so there's like something that's called preferred path. Sometimes you will see that there's like a pathway, and then there's gonna be like in the garden, and then there's gonna be like some grass, and in through the grass there's gonna be some part that doesn't have any plants or anything. It's because like people have gone through that path so much that plants have stopped growing. That's a preferred path because people prefer to go that way, and they because it's a shorter route than the route that was designed by architects, civil engineers, or whoever made that path, and that's a design flaw. Same thing happens over here in Planet Coaster, and I think that's a realistic way of having the UI have its, you know, like the UI or the AI having this idea. So I think that's good, but they take too much of a, you know, short path. Sometimes they clip through the ride, because this ride you guys are seeing over here, this is a whirly rig or the tiny eye or whatever kind of ride it is. But this ride you guys are seeing that it has like, you're not able to get rid of the curbs on this on Planet Coaster 2 right now. So you see the curb. Well, people go through the curb. That would be technically the right area, and people just go through that sometimes. So it clips. There's like some little clipping on that behalf, but I'm not too worried about it because you only pay attention to it if you are close to it, you know. So it's okay. I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, also I realized it is difficult to theme some rides. I wanted to find some like stone pieces or something to give this like a stone, and I wanted to give it the exact same feel as the other, you know, buildings over here. But it turns out it's way more difficult because the pieces, I cannot scale them down for it to look like a tiny circle. So yeah, that was a problem that I found myself going into. But I ended up solving it with not a really. It doesn't fit the theme that much. The theme that I chose for this. For the flat ride, but it just does the trick. And again, it's just selling the illusion, and we're not for absolute accuracy, like architectural or historical accuracy over here. We're going to a fairly good accuracy that will make us sell the idea well. That's what I'm going for. So yeah, I'm building these bump cars, or the actual name is Bump and Derby. I don't know what I named it to, but yeah, I will give a cover to this. And my idea was so basing it on rural towns, and then there's also some kind of towns. I've seen these more on the Mediterranean side of the parts of Spain. There's like fortresses, and inside of those fortresses there's a whole village, a part of the castle from the like old Roman town. There's like a fortress, and then there's villages is inside of the fortress. So I wanted to give like that kind of vibe over here, with different buildings being inside of the same kind of fortress. And yeah, I wanted to give that kind of vibe for this building in particular, because building just the exact same building that I've been building for the last like other small buildings wouldn't fit on this one, because it would be like a really huge empty building and it wouldn't feel like anything. So I just wanted to give it some detail, and even if it's not part of a rural town of the northern part of Spain, it is accurate enough. And it fits well. I feel like it fits well enough for me to be able to place it. So also really happy with the result of this. And yep, not much else to say over here. I also tried to theme as much as possible the bumping cars, because they were too modern looking for my liking. So I tried to adapt the situation with the bumping cars, or the bumpy ride, or whatever that kind of ride is called. I try to adapt a little bit to a more of a medieval kind of like style, and I used the Viking theming for that, which is not the most, again, not the most historically accurate, but it makes it feel more older looking, which was what I was going for, instead of having like the more modern looking. So good enough. Once again, this series is based on, or this area in particular is based on good enough for it to be considered, you know, realistic enough. So I'm happy with that. I'll call it a day, because if not, I'm trying to focus on the big picture. And if I was going to do a detailed thing for something that you almost cannot see unless you're going to ride that ride specifically, if I'm trying to make like absolutely historically accurate, architecturally accurate things, I would end up going crazy. First of all, because it's not something that I was planning. Coaster is like gives you a lot of ease for. So again, the good enough technique and the good enough way, the good enough philosophy is the main philosophy that I'm using over here. So yeah. So finishing this area, I think I'm like close to finishing it at least, and call it a day. I wanted to build like some path over here, because I didn't want people to go into that area. So sometimes when I'm trying to delete some kind of pathing and the pathing tool is just not collaborating, I just use a staff path, so that at least normal people are not going over there. And if like one or two staff is clipping through the area, it's okay, but like staff don't have any reason to go into that particular area. So I'm cool with that. Now you see me lighting this whole thing with some torches and stuff, and theming the actual bumpy cars, which was not an easy job to do, because well, it's a small object that I need to theme, and scaling only goes up until 50% of the original scale, and sometimes things are really big scaled. So sometimes they don't work for what I was trying to do, but I made it work at in some way or another, and I'm happy with the result. So yep, not much else to say on that behalf. But yeah, so I'm finishing right now the bumper cars, which are 4 different designs, and they're twinned. So yeah, that not all of the bumper cars have what each one has. Doesn't have a different design. It's just 4 different designs, and then the designs are copied over. And yeah, not much else. I just built a queue for the roller coaster, and I am building this after the hotfix number 2, which makes people actually want to go into rides, you know. So I thought that the queue would get pretty long, and I wanted to see how long it would get. So I made 2 cattle pen situations, like switchback situations, and then I tried to test it, because I wanted to see if that was a lot, if that was too long or something. So I ended up in the situation where it is, people don't consider it to be long now, because if I made this kind of situation before the hotfix, people would think that the line is so long just because the actual physical line is long, but it's completely empty. It's a walk-on, but like it's completely empty. But people wouldn't go into it because they thought the line was too long. Now, people are still going on it, but not enough people go on it for it to be able to fill, because the capacity of this ride is quite good. It's fairly good. I think it's like 1,300 people per hour, which is not bad. I thought it was going to be more, but it's not that much because of like the timings on block breaks and all that. So yeah, it dispatches one train every 34 seconds or something, and it makes for a 1,300 people per hour kind of thing. So yeah, it's a little bit too long, the queue that I made, but I will change it eventually. And now I'm working on some pathing. I saw a tutorial around YouTube. I don't remember who it was by, but like it gave a lot of ideas to work with paths and make paths original. And I saw this plaza and I was like, this plaza is a little bit too empty. So I wanted to add some like cool detail over there. And I added that flower, which is again not accurate. That you wouldn't see that in a rural town, but we're in a theme park. We need it to be also pretty, apart from accurate, you know. So I went for pretty on this time. Also, there's this fountain, which I didn't realize because it's in the middle of a path. People are gonna clip through it. And I wanted to fix it off camera. I wanted to fix the situation off camera by adding another, like deleting the path, you know, the path in the middle and stuff, but like it's just too difficult. So I think I'm gonna have to get rid of that fountain in particular, also because it covers the actual like you know, like the actual theming that I added for this sign. That thing, it's covering it and you're not able to see it completely, like really fully good, you know. So I'm gonna end up deleting it at some point, but it's okay, no worries about that. I'm also adding some final touches over here and there, connecting the actual path to the area, and not much else. I'm just adding some stuffing and all that to make sure that rides don't get empty, and just calling this the zone. So this is Baser Town now. And yeah, not much. This is just like some details and stuff that I'm just adding, and not much else to add. So we're gonna jump into real-time mode. I'm gonna show you the final result of this, and we're probably gonna call the episode for an end over here. So yeah, we're gonna jump into real-time mode in just a second. I'll see you there. Welcome to real time. So here we are in the finished park, or not finished park, it's kind of like mostly finished area. So yeah, before we just had this part, now I added all this, and it's pretty like it's a good immersion situation over here. Let me turn like the light a little bit more, yeah, like that, so that we can see it better. So let me jump into first person mode actually. So we're gonna go in this way. This is the entrance. This is a typical, I didn't talk about it, but like this is a typical building that you could see in main plazas of like more rural areas of the Spanish part. My intention is to fill this whole plaza up with these kind of buildings, because it's something like really typical that you see in Spanish architecture. So yeah, but if we go through here, we see the train station, and then we appear in this mini plaza which has some bathrooms over there, and then a building over here that kind of resembles to like kind of like a castle or something. I don't know, it's just a building that I wanted to have to cover up the building behind it, and to, you know, immersed in the whole look and stuff. Here we have the shops. This is a Looney Blooms, I think it's called, and this is a Hats Fantastic. We got the merchandise over here for people to be able to see. The idea is that, you know, this is the merchandise, and you go to the counter and then you buy it. Some, as I said, like as I talked to you about, like there's some, you know, shield pillars and stuff. Same thing over here. And then, oh, I I didn't delete the actual. I thought I deleted the fence for this. I'll have to change that in a second. I'll change that in a second, but this is the main right over here. So this is the windmill. Looking pretty good. That fire might not be the most realistic thing, but again, let's just imagine that is a fake fire. We go this way, and this is the pier. Not pier, but like the viewpoint of the roller coaster. Because again, I like to have my coasters. I like my coasters to have like some point where they interact with normal pathings or queue pathings, so people can see it. There's like some chief beef and gelato bros over here, and that is a staff building over here. It's camouflated. You cannot see it, but it's a staff building. You see over here there's people having a break over there. I'm planning on adding some more buildings over here, or some more stuff over here. Right now we got like the blueprints that I used or that I made myself for that building over there. Yeah, I just it's kind of a mess. I need to tidy up a little bit, but like if we look this way, you cannot see it, and you see the whole thing. You see the windmill, which has not been covered, which is a good thing because I wanted to keep that visible. We see some more bathrooms. This is like the exit way, so that way you enter the Barren supply drop exit, and then this is technically a right photos, but it's a hat's fantastic actually. So sorry, just a memento. Some benches, some stuff, and then you go in this way and you get into the Barren supply drop. Kind of dark, not gonna lie. I think I have my no, I don't have my light turned on, but it's kind of dark, but it's okay. I like it that way, and it's light enough so that you can like ride operators, if they were here, they would be able to check on the lap bars. So good enough. You can also hear the music. I added some theme music, so yeah, pretty cool. And this works. I tested it, so this exit works. Some stands over here. I think this is Viva la Vegan. This is so delightful. And then we have Pip Shot juice over there. And there was some info stand over here, so yeah, if they wanted to buy fast pass, which they can because we have a fast lane here, and then we have fast lane on the bumper cars, but not on the roller coaster. For some reason, yeah, I didn't take it into account. This is the queue for the bumper cars, and then we have the bumper cars over here, kind of dark at the moment, but I feel like that adds to the like beauty of it. And then this is the fast lane entrance over here, and as I said, this is the Barren supply drop, and you will see this worker clipping through perfectly, so I'm gonna have to get rid of that. But overall, I really like the theming over here. It just looks like it's some supplies that Barren needs to drop. Yeah, so the entrance goes this way. I think I'm gonna keep this cattle pen situation, but this one over here I'm gonna get rid of, because also it gets rid of like the way that makes a lot of space that could be used by normal pathing, so that there's no bottleneck, you know. So you go up this way, you get into this part over here, you see over here all the theming, you see the actual roller coaster, you go down and you see the coaster going over here and braking, and then you go into the station, and that's kind of it all. I think this is opened, right? Yeah, no, I want it closed, and then I want this one closed as well. Yeah, and then this one closed as well. Let me fix a couple things over here because I don't know why they changed, but they did. So I'm just gonna copy this and then deactivate the pathway and customize this with no fencing because it already has a custom fencing. There you go. So yeah, and I'm gonna get rid of this fountain also because, well, I think this is good enough, honestly, and you're able to see the whole name thing better. So yeah, but yeah, so that was the whole thing that we worked on this episode. In the next episode, probably I'm gonna add some more couple flat rides. I think we can fit 2 or 3 more flat rides over here easily. Smaller footprint ones, but yeah, 2 or 3 more flat rides can be fit over there. And that's why I was talking about, like, this cattle bench just like getting in the way of the actual path over here, so it would be nice if we had a little bit more space to go through, so that there's no bottleneck again. But yeah, so that's the result. My plan is also to having like, right now at this point, you're able to see the outside over here. Since we're gonna have like some buildings like these ones over here, I need to find a way to make this be a little bit more camouflaged this way. My plan was I left some stuff over here to have some trees, so that we can also give it the look that it's in a more of a foresty area. But yeah, not much else to say on my behalf. So yeah, this was all I worked on in this episode, which was quite a lot. Quite a lot, I'd say. I feel like this is not bare bones anymore, so I'm pretty happy about it. So yeah, that was all I had to show you guys for today's episode. Let me know what you guys thought. If you got any suggestions on what I could add, or what do you think worked or doesn't. As always, constructive criticism is always appreciated. You can leave a comment down below if you want to. You can give a comment if you want to give me a challenge, or like a random challenge to try to make fit into these things, or like something that it needs to be taken into account in this particular park or something like that. But yeah, not much else to say. You can also consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind later if you didn't like my channel. And not much else. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you guys soon. Bye.